carries. Okay, new business. We have AirNorth Internet Structure.
Hi.
You're up.
My name is Charlie Hague with AirNorth Communications. We're a wireless internet service provider in the area. I've been working with Tom Eustace in Sheboygan. He actually approached me on putting together an idea for a wireless canopy in the downtown area so that the shoppers, the festivals and whatnot, anybody coming in the area would have access to be able to use their mobile devices. One of the ideas was, as people are shopping through the downtown area, they can have their mobile devices, and there may be an opportunity for the local businesses to promote advertising. As somebody who walks within 50, 75-foot radius, it shoots out, hey, stop in our store, we've got a 10% off today, for whatever the idea is. But the initial idea that Tom had proposed was just to get music into their festival square, and because for winter, for groups that were coming in, so they could have music continuously playing, and then also provide wireless internet for the farmers market that was there. Because one of the things with the farmers market, the government has this program where they'll actually do a dollar for dollar match, and the challenge is their vendors, they don't have internet access, so they can't accept credit card transactions. So he's trying to solve a couple of different problems with that. And I was telling Debbie about the conversations that I'd been having with Tom, and she said, well, this would be fantastic for Indian River if we could get something like that. And it's one of those things that a lot of the downtown, that you'll see it in a lot of the bigger cities. Traverse City has it right now. Not necessarily the marketing aspect of it, but the wireless internet, where people can go downtown. They don't have to go to a McDonald's. They don't have to go to a coffee shop to plug in and use their wireless devices. They can be walking downtown. They can be shopping. They can go in and out of the various different retail outlets and have their wireless devices connecting, doing searches, having their kids do searches while they're shopping, watching YouTube, cartoons, whatever it happens to be, so that they can continue shopping and keep their kids occupied. I mean, there are all sorts of different benefits to having that available. But as I was saying, a lot of your major cities have already got wireless canopies in place. They set up the wireless equipment sporadically throughout the town, strategically, so that it covers the majority of the populated areas. And it's one of those things where Northern Michigan, I hate to say it, we're always a little bit behind when it comes to technology. So the conversation that I was having with Tom was, let's bring this to Northern Michigan. Let's be at the forefront of these technologies. Let's put our small towns on the map so that people want to come here, because that's one of the reasons that we don't get a lot of people, a lot of businesses and so on, because the infrastructure isn't here. Now, we've got infrastructure as far as fiber and DSL and cable providers and whatnot if you're inside the cities, but we don't have things like the wireless canopies that bring the shoppers, it's just one more thing to attract people to the area to do the shopping and spend the time with the family and whatnot. So my mission tonight was just to come in and propose the idea to you guys, see if there's any interest, see if there's any traction there, and if there is, I'm more than happy to come back and answer questions, put a proposal together, anything like that. Or if you guys have initial questions, I'm more than happy to.
What kind of area can you cover with this?
It depends.
Oh, okay. Well, the reason why I'm saying is this is a small section of the business district.
Correct.
So, I mean, if you could carry it on through the southern, I don't.
So what it is?
I've still got flip phones, so you have
to. So basically, what it is? It's a line of sight technology. So basically, what we would need to do is, if we were to put together a proposal, I'd have to go in and take a look at the city's infrastructure, take a look at exactly where the areas are that we want to see a wireless canopy, wireless technology available, and then if the city has a fiber infrastructure that they're already utilizing, then we can tie into that, or if we have to talk about a new internet connection to tie this into. So there are several different elements to this, but as far as the way the city is designed, you guys have the majority of your business, from what I can see, and I haven't done a full scope analysis, but it looks like you've got one main street that it goes down, and then it kind of spreads back a little bit. And with that, it makes it easier to set one piece of equipment down at one end, another piece of equipment down at the other end, have them broadcast toward each other, and then set maybe microcells up in between just to make sure you've got the coverage. And then if it needs to go out further, then we just have to take a look at exactly where you want the canopy to go, what you want to have covered, and come up with a plan to make sure that we've got the right type of equipment. Sometimes it's going to be sector antennas that go 120 degrees and they blast out over a range. Sometimes it's going to be smaller pieces where you just want to get into smaller areas. So it would take more analysis to, every city, every location is going to be different as far as what's needed. So it would take some analysis and some thought that goes into it. I'd have to go through and identify each location and see what the best piece of equipment would be to fit that area. And the best piece of equipment, best frequencies and all that kind of stuff.
Has Sheboygan already implemented this?
They haven't implemented it. It's only, Tom and I had conversations that got as far as me putting a proposal together with a quote, and then he took it to the DDA, and I actually spoke with somebody on their DDA, and it sounds like I may want to schedule some time to go and actually present to their DDA, because it sounds like Tom just basically said, here's the proposal, and this is what it is. There was no explanation behind it.
Now, AirNorth started, you guys kind of came in probably 4 years ago?
About 4 years ago. Yeah.
And I can't remember the gentleman's name, but when I was told the chamber I spoke with, I can't remember his name. He lived in South Carolina.
Oh, Noah Lesk.
Yeah, yep.
Yep.
He was the guy who was kind of, promoting it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Has it changed focus since then?
The company hasn't changed focus. We have the wireless internet canopy over the Sheboygan, or over a good portion of Sheboygan County. We're actually a telephone company, but we do try to provide as many services as we can to the people of Sheboygan County that are either unserved or underserved. That's one of our goals, is to provide services to those who are unserved and underserved. Yeah. So that focus hasn't changed. So we still have our wireless internet service, and basically what that is our network stretches out beyond where AT&T or Charter are willing to build out to. So those are the people that we try to make sure that everybody has at least.
So that's up and running and being used?
Oh, absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely. We've got several hundred customers on that network, and it's been going strong for several years. So, yeah.
At the start of your presentation, you said something about governmental funds matching dollar for dollar, something like that, very quickly. What was that about?
That was related to the farmers market. So Tom was trying to get wireless internet service into their festival square, because they host the farmers market there every Wednesday, and the government has a program where they'll match dollar for dollar for anybody who's on government assistance, to try to get them to eat healthier, to not go buy junk food at the stores and whatnot, to try to get them to shop at farmers markets where it's the more natural foods. They have a program where they'll match, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe it's for every dollar you spend, they'll match $1 for it if you're buying stuff from a farmer's market, the vegetables and the products that they're purchasing, or the products that they're selling.
And so this would be funded by like a DDA or some sort of governmental entity? Like, how do the businesses buy in? Like, if I had a business on Main Street and I wanted somebody walking by to come into my business, like, how does that all work? Do they also buy into it?
Basically what it is, there are several ways to do it. Basically what I'm doing is I'm just offering an opportunity to the city of Indian River. The way Sheboygan was going to do it was the city or the DDA was going to build out the infrastructure and pay the monthly recurring for the internet connection. And then they were just going to provide it free to anybody in the downtown area. Now, we've kind of touched on the idea of the businesses doing the marketing. It may be that it's just a free thing, or there may be a subscription model associated with it as well. If the people that are walking through the downtown area, if they want to have, for example, if they want to have the free service, maybe they get the free service and they just have periodic advertisements pop up on their phone. Or if they want to do a subscription basis, then they pay $10 for the day, $5 for the day, whatever that happens to be. So there are a lot of different points that would need to be discussed as far as just exactly how we want to see this rolled out. But as far as who pays the bill, most it would probably be something like the DDA or the city that does the initial build out and the maintenance and the service on the equipment if there's anything that's needed. And then it would just be a benefit for your retail outlets, for your businesses in the area, for the events that come into the area. You've got your Fall Fest, your Winter Fest, you've got all these different festivals that are here, and you've got a lot of people that participate, and then you've got some people that are kind of sitting back in the sidelines because they just don't want to participate in it, or they sit back in the condo, or they sit back wherever. Not, the entire family's not coming out to it because some people just don't want to. It gives them an opportunity to come out, kind of be involved without actually being involved. They can sit there, they can play on their tablet, and they're outside there with their families. So,
I know it would take a full proposal, but price-wise, ballpark, range, just a vague range, are we talking, 500 to 1,500, 5,000 to 7,000, I mean...
So the proposal that I put into Sheboygan
Yeah.
was, they've got a much bigger, well, I can't even say that because I don't know how much of an area you guys would want to cover. But the proposal that I dropped off for Tom in Sheboygan was from the State Street Bridge down to the church. Basically, if you look from one end to the other, right before it starts to curve and go down by the paper plant, it stretches from there to there. And then we had also asked if we could go over to the ball fields.
It's a traditional
So,
downtown.
so the traditional downtown, and then stretching across the river over to the ball field, so that people there watching their kids, they can do whatever they want to do over there. So that was, I don't even remember how many pieces of equipment that was, but that came in at just under $5,000.
And then the monthly recurring for something like that?
In that scenario, we were discussing, for them, they had two small internet connections because they weren't sure exactly what the need was going to be. And the proposal was built out in a way that they know that they're getting fiber into their city hall. So the proposal was, let's get a couple small internet connections where one of them we could drop after you get your fiber. And then we can just tie it right directly into your fiber connection, and that'll help save expense. So in that scenario, it was $160 a month recurring. So $160 a month for two internet connections. And basically what that does is it created redundancy. So if you've got a bunch of people at this end, you've got a bunch of people, or you've got an internet connection at one end of town, an internet connection at the other end of town, it makes it so that they're both feeding toward each other. And when somebody's walking through the downtown area, they're going to be bouncing, real similar to a cell phone tower. They're going to be bouncing from one piece of equipment to the next. But because as far as the phone is concerned, it all has the same network name and same password. The phone, it may cut out for a split second before it connects to the next one, so they can walk down the street seamlessly. And they can, if they get too far away from the internet connection on one side of town, then they just they fall right on to the next internet connection. So,
Charlie, how does it work? Because I'm trying to picture my mind. I got Google Maps on right now. Okay, and I'm walking down the street and I'm seeing BC Pizza and I'm seeing videos, and I saw the different businesses that are in, I should go all the way to Breakers. But I see there's an ad that just came out for videos.
yeah, we have to determine exactly what software we want to use as far as the advertisements to see just exactly how it works. It may be a buying thing from the various different businesses in the area,
Yeah.
or it may just be that we put all of them on there. And as you're walking along, like on yours, you're on Google Maps, and it's pulling up anything within X mile radius. So with the various different software, you can narrow that down. So you can narrow it down to just half mile, quarter mile.
Just flashing nothing but bars at me.
So this is essentially open access, no password required.
Open access, no password required, and one of the conversations that we had in Sheboygan was, well, how do we keep the residents, the people that live up above, how do we keep them from sitting on there all the time and using up all the bandwidth all the time? What we can do is we can have it set up to where every half hour, every 45 minutes, it refreshes, where you have to not necessarily sign in, but confirm that you're still using the internet. Basically refresh your connection. So that way, if somebody's living in one of those areas, they're not just constantly sitting on it and using up all the bandwidth. If they're watching Netflix, they're going to get awfully tired of every 30 or 45 minutes having to go through and stop, their movie just stops and they'll have to refresh. One of the other things that we discussed was maybe the city puts in a strong enough internet connection to where it really doesn't matter. Maybe they just promote it as free Wi-Fi downtown, and if you live in the area, it doesn't matter if you use it or not. So, but there's still a lot that needs to be discussed as far as that conversation out there. So it really depends on how you guys want to approach it. I mean, there's a lot of different options. I wish I could say that there's a cookie cutter way of doing this, but there really isn't. I mean, there's a lot of different things to think about, and it just depends on what you guys want to offer to the community.
So we have people coming in wanting to use the internet, and the library's closed.
Mhm.
Sometimes they can sit in there, but, so we tell them go down to a coffee shop or something.
You can tell them to go anywhere down, they can sit on a park bench.
What I'm telling right now is all of a sudden, we're telling, we kind of like the idea of we were sending them to somebody's business.
Oh, yeah, oh, absolutely. You
Yeah.
can send them to,
Yeah, I mean, but if they get it free outside, or we kind of, take a business away from somebody, like we tell somebody to go down to a coffee shop and sit and you can use their internet. If we buy into your program, it's everywhere, are we doing something to
it's
mitigate?
everywhere downtown. It's everywhere in the area that you decide you want it to be. So if they're already down there, it just increases the likelihood that, let's say, for example, they are sitting on a park bench, it increases the likelihood that they're gonna look up and maybe they will go across the street and not just go into the coffee shop, and maybe there's something else down there that caught their attention, especially if there's an advertisement that pops up that says, hey, we're doing this.
Any other questions?
Thank you, it's
Yeah,
interesting.
thanks.
Good.
It
You're
is.
welcome.
It's interesting.
You're welcome. You guys all have my cards. If you have any questions or you'd like me to come back and give more information, feel free to reach out. Phone number, email, it's all on there. And look forward to hearing from you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, John.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you, is Sheboygan probably gonna, like, you're gonna start talking with them, do you think about, I mean, do you see this happening in Sheboygan?
Tom sounded
So
very
we can
excited.
kind of like watch it? and-
Tom sounded very excited about this. In fact, I thought with my initial conversations with Tom, it sounded like he wanted to have something in place by,
Like something?
no, by Christmas. He wanted to be
Oh,
able
for
to
the
have.
New Year's Eve.
But
job.
it's up to the DDA. So, because he took it to them, and this is why I want to get in and talk to them directly, because, or be able to present to them, because my understanding was he literally took the quote and said, this is what we're thinking about doing, and with no explanation behind it. So I spoke with Scott Persig with the chamber there, he sits on the DDA, and he, I must have sat in his office for 25, 30 minutes just explaining what it was, because he had no clue. He had no clue what Tom was trying to get across to them. So I'm gonna see if I can sit down with them and just basically go through the same thing that I did tonight, a little more detail. I mean, they already have the numbers, and I believe Scott's already passed some of the information along, but give them the opportunity to ask questions. But my understanding was Tom would have liked to have seen something in place by Christmas time, because he wants to have that music playing downtown. He wants to create an atmosphere where people can come in and listen to the music, and they've got the skating rink there. Hopefully they'll
that
have
would
it by-
be really
Hopefully they'll have it there by,
Yeah.
It's cold.
by Christmas.
Yeah. Hopefully we have cold weather this year.
So,
Okay, well, thank you.
you're welcome.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot, John.
Thanks, have a great day.
Yeah.
Thank you. You as well.